guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video, we're going to be looking at savings and why it is so difficult for some people to actually save some money. So when you look at big picture, inflation we know is very high. The cost of gas has increased. The trips to the grocery store are very expensive. If you have any unsecured debt, your credit cards balances are probably requiring a higher minimum payment. It has been stated that over 35% of adults have less than $400 to cover an emergency expense. Now, we try to get to that $1,000 number, but what are exactly some of the reasons why it is so difficult in today's economy to save money? Number one, not focusing on paying down debt. Now, debt is really one of the biggest things, guys, that eat away on your monthly income. So if you get X amount of dollars, chances are that the interest rate or the debt portion of those payments is going right towards interest. Revolving debt is super expensive right now, guys. If you look, the average for credit cards is around 22-23%, which again is very high. So if you're going in and you're making those debt payments, a majority of that is just going to straight interest, meaning you're not touching much of the principal balance. Now, in conjunction, if you're utilizing those credit lines or things of that nature, most of the time your payment, your monthly liability is going to go up faster than you're paying those down. That is the reason why we have talked about budgeting and why it is so important. Number two, budgeting is a non-factor. Most people I know do not budget. As being a financial counselor, it really just kind of irks me a little bit that you have the ability to control your finances. You have the ability to really know where all of your money is going. Recently, the average household earned $84,000 before taxes. When you take out housing, food, health insurance, that equates to about $60,000 left. Again, that is about even, leaving $23,000 for cash flow. Free cash flow, of course, is not free. That is money that is going towards paying down debt, that is going to repayments. And again, this is on average. You could be higher on the spectrum, you could be a little bit lower, but on average, it is about $84 per household per year that is earned. And again, you have to know exactly where all of your money is going every single time. Number three, trying to impress friends with money. This is really the whole keeping up with the Joneses or keeping up with other individuals. It gets expensive, guys. It gets super expensive. I am glad that my wife and I are both really solid savers, but we don't have the newest cars. We don't have the newest technology. We don't have the most lavish vacations. It's really the keeping up with the Joneses can put you in a very strong financial burden when you look at making sure that you kind of plan it out. And that's really the big thing, guys, is plan on when your debt is going to be paid off. If you take a car payment out for, let's say, 60 months, are you planning on paying 60 months of that car payment? For a majority of people, the answer for that is no. But when you couple on credit card debt, when you couple on a mortgage expense, when you start adding things in there, it really does get expensive, and it really breaks down to the monthly liabilities and the monthly expenditures that a lot of people are trying to get to. Now, number four, not earning enough money. This is really important, guys. Evaluate where you work. Most of the time, with the experience that you've gotten at your current job, chances are you could go somewhere else and really make more money at another place with the experience you have. Now, one thing to remember, guys, you have to take into account, and I know most people do not do this, you have to take into account the benefit packages that places offer. So if I'm at a job and I'm making X amount of dollars and they're matching, let's say, 4% of my 401k, and I'm looking at another job to possibly match 0% of my 401k, or healthcare is more expensive, retirement savings is more expensive because they do not have the match, you really need to break it down apples to apples so you know what you're contributing, what your employer is kicking in if there is a match, making sure that you can get kind of exactly what you're getting and how much is it. So if they're giving you another dollar and you have to pay additional for healthcare, or let's say not the quite the savings for the 401k, chances are that $1 is you're going to pay more than what you would see with that raise. Number five, the emergency fund. Not having the emergency fund, guys, again, this is one of the absolute fundamental parts of being financial free and eliminating that debt is when you don't have the emergency fund, you rely on credit cards, you rely on other sources to come up with that emergency fund. Get the emergency fund first. Again, I cannot stress that enough, guys. When you get that $1,000 in that emergency fund, then any money over that you can actually utilize for your debt repayment. Don't do it the other way around. Most people will just throw anything they can at credit cards. Then when it comes to utilization, they just swipe the credit cards for everything, or if there's an emergency, it goes right back to a credit card versus utilizing that emergency fund. The emergency fund first is the really important thing, and you want to get it ASAP. If it means cutting out some expenses for the short term, if it means cutting back on some of the regular things, even if it is $25 a month that you're transferring, it will accumulate. Number 6, shopping too much. This is really, really easy to do, guys, with online shopping. When you start adding things to your cart, when you go ahead and pay out, check out, especially if you're putting it on a credit card, it makes it super easy, super convenient, which is how they want it to really go through. Make a list of the items, track items that you're looking for, or the prices over time. There's a lot of sites that do this. And there's also a lot of sites that will offer you rebates, that offer you cashback, that offer coupons, that offer a lot of different things to get the same products and services for a much cheaper rate. Number 7, inflation in housing, education. Really, the housing prices, the rent market, the tuition costs, interest rates going up. There is a combination of everything. So you really have to take a strong look at that budget, really realizing what you need to do to save. What can you cut? What can you get cheaper? Again, a lot of people can really see this. We really haven't seen really rates of this nation or rates of this magnitude probably in about 20 plus years. I believe it was before the housing market, like the 2007, 2008. So we're coming up on 15, 20 years that we haven't seen rates this high. And again, debt is expensive. Number 8, paying for items we don't use. This is one of the most common things that we see when you look at things that either you don't use, physical things that you buy, or digital subscriptions, wasting food. It is just literally a society where we pay for a lot of things we don't use. Subscriptions, they said average in the United States, it is just about $200 that people pay for subscriptions every month, utilizing them or not utilizing them. It seems like everyone is trying to get, the $7, $10, $12, $15. When you look at Netflix, when you look at Amazon, when you look at Disney, when you look at YouTube, every single avenue is just taking a little chunk out of that paycheck that you're getting. Number 9, savings is not a priority. We have always said, make sure you pay yourself first. It is one of the biggest things, guys, that is a priority. A lot of people will just go ahead and spend their money. At the end of the month, they wonder where it is. They try to go back, see exactly where it is going. You need to set it up first. There is really a way to prioritize this where you can say, okay, I'm going to put X amount of dollars into that emergency fund until I hit that $1,000 mark. The rest of it is going to be earmarked for the bills, the needs, things of that nature. And then when you get to the bottom of the line, what do you need to really cover the expenses? And the final one, guys, is the cost of living. It has been incredibly, incredibly high. We've seen everything from the price of gas that has skyrocketed. Again, inflation going up. If you're looking to borrow, it's a lot more expensive. If you have any of that credit card debt, it is more expensive. Look at converting it and look at your monthly payments. That is really the way that I feel a lot of people need to look at it, or really need to break it down, guys, is what is the monthly liability? So if you have 5 cards with X amount of dollars on it, seeing where you can cut some of those costs, whether it is, a consolidation, anything of that nature, to cut down not only the monthly liability, but also getting to a fixed rate, fixed term, because if inflation and if rates continue to rise, the credit cards are going to get more expensive. It's a known fact, guys. In a raising rate environment, things are going to get more expensive. In the short term, we could possibly see rates go down as early as the end of this year, maybe early 24. But the thing is, if rates do decline a little bit, it does not mean by any means that these credit card companies, that a lot of institutions are going to go ahead and raise the rates, because if they're charging a little bit higher with the rates, they are getting more income from the payments that you're making, which means there's little to no incentive for them to go ahead and, lower rates as the rates do go down. Now, working in a credit union like I do, guys, we have fixed rate cards, which is kind of crazy. Look at some of your resources. Look at some of the places where, again, you could do some balance transfers. You could do some restructuring of debt to make it more feasible for you, so you can budget, so you can make sure that everything works out. All right, guys, so that'll do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, Thank you guys for watching.